A phone rings and everything changes. What if the truth you learn completely overturns your life? My name is Mark. This is the story of my wife's unfinished night out, how my heart froze as she stepped through the door, and how my life was thrown into disarray. Hours of waiting, my heart weighed down with suspicion, and ultimately facing a betrayal beyond anything I could have imagined. I share with you what I endured until that dark morning when I learned of my wife Jenna's betrayal. Before we dive into my story, don't forget to subscribe and like this video to not miss out on the most striking stories about infidelity in marriage. Now I invite you on this emotional journey. If you're ready, let's start our video. Jenna usually returns home in the early hours after going out with friends on Friday nights. Therefore, waiting for her to come home at 2 a.m. was routine for me. But this time it was 2:30 and Jenna still hadn't arrived. I began to worry and called her. When she answered, she said they were at a party and would leave in a few minutes. The party Jenna attended was a birthday celebration for a colleague from work. I was aware of it. In fact, I had been invited. However, due to the workload that week at the office, I told Jenna to go alone. Anyway, it was 3 a.m. and Jenna was still not home. I texted her. It was delivered, but no reply. Around 4 a.m., I called again. It rang a few times and then went to voicemail. That night at home, waiting for Jenna, I couldn't comprehend how time was passing. Each minute was filled with growing anxiety. When my messages remained unanswered, my fear and anxiety doubled. What was happening? Why wasn't Jenna responding? Finally, at 6:47 a.m., Jenna came home in a state I had never expected. My heart was partly relieved and partly shattered. The foreign clothes and torn leggings. My heart ached. I asked Jenna if she had been attacked. She said no. Then I asked, "Do you know what you've done?" When she said, "You know what I did," my heart broke even more. I had thought about this moment all night, feared and hoped, but the reality was painful. When Jenna said, "You know what I did," my world stopped. At that moment, something inside me broke. I asked, "Who was it?" Jenna casually shrugged and said, "Just someone I met at the club. We went to his house." I was speechless at this confession. Was everything that easy? Jenna said she didn't want to talk, just sleep, and that's what she did. I spent the morning thinking about what to do next. Everything was too new and too painful. However, I had to accept that our relationship was over. As morning came, my emotions were a mess. While Jenna slept, I gathered important documents, grabbed my laptop, and started packing my suitcase. When Jenna woke up, she looked around confusedly and then began to cry. I didn't even think about comforting her. When Jenna woke up, she didn't remember the night's conversation. I explained everything again. I asked her what happened with the man she met at the club, why she did it. "I need sexual variety," she said. This answer hurt even more. Jenna suggested therapy and counseling to save our relationship, but for me, it was all over. She suddenly approached me and tried to seduce me. I felt disgusted and pushed her away. I clearly told her our relationship was over. That morning, Jenna tried to salvage our relationship. "We can fix this. We can work it out together," she said. But I had already made up my mind. Tired of everything, I called Jenna's mother and explained the situation. They decided to drive to the city. During our conversation with Jenna's mother, I explained everything. Jenna became very angry and insulted me. But I was emotionally exhausted by then. I packed my belongings and went to a friend's house. When Jenna's parents arrived, I had already left. Jenna sent me pleading messages, but I didn't respond. After these events, our lives completely changed. I cut off communication with Jenna, started the divorce process, and took steps to start anew. Emotionally, this process was very draining, but it also reminded me of my own worth and what's important. Now I'm in a better place and looking forward, learning lessons from the past's pains.